Okay. Looks like we are live both places. I'm trying something out with the sound, and hopefully uh, it doesn't create any problems. But yeah, thanks for tuning into the video or the stream. I have so many things to do that is sort of piling up over these last couple of days. I'll try to keep a full stream in today. I'm still working out a workshop for sort of like, it will sort of be a mix of this film and like an introduction to sort of a nuke course, if you will, at the same time. So, but the course will be in Spanish, and we'll do it in collaboration with the film institutes in Peru. So yeah, so if you speak Spanish and you're interested in such a course, yeah, I'll keep you posted once it's done. I'm sort of hoping to get a draft out by this week, and hopefully we get something worked out in the coming weeks. What else? I do have a little bit of R&D to do for the film as well, for some of the shots. So I'm trying to still figure that out. And we still, working through some of the shots. I think I have a couple of shots that I haven't started yet, and I would like to start them, I think today, or yeah, I'd like to start them today. And see if we can hit as many notes as possible. I also have a lot of rendering to do, and I think it sort of kills the stream once I render, and also it's nothing I can show while it's rendering. So I'm trying to sort of wait for all the render work sort of by the time I end the stream. Yeah, so it's a little bit tricky to sort of like, I guess, do these streams as I sort of planned out. But, you know, we keep it flexible, and we see how we sort of, make it work as we go. I'm just going to do a small introduction as well in Spanish for the course. Así que hola y bienvenidos al stream o al vídeo si estás viéndolo después. Simplemente quería decir esto en español porque estoy trabajando ahora para hacer un taller sobre tanto como los efectos de la película que estamos haciendo aquí en más detalle, pero también como un pequeño curso de Nuke, que es el programa que estamos utilizando para hacer los efectos especiales, y cómo lo utilizo yo, ¿no? Yo personalmente siempre trabajo, o sea, me gusta hacer películas pequeñas y trabajo como en grupos pequeños, y viniendo de efectos especiales es porque yo he elegido compositing, ¿no? Y porque Nuke específicamente. Y es porque siento que como artista y director y todo este rollo te da el mucho más poder a poder hacer algo en tus cortos, documentales o cosas así, comparado si eliges como otros aspectos de VFX, ¿no? Entonces el curso es mirando los efectos que hemos hecho para la película de Basilio y el mar, pero al mismo tiempo una pequeña introducción de por qué Nuke es tan fuerte, ¿no? Y cómo capaz que usarlo y cosas que puedes tener en mente cuando haces tu proyecto, como cómo hacer el tracking, cómo trabajar con un poco así como con las cosas un poco más básicas, ¿no? Como estos streams, lo que estoy haciendo aquí es simplemente yo trabajando, ¿no? Y dando ideas y hablando y teniendo todo como un poco abierto para conversación, para que sea educativo, pero no estoy realmente enseñando nada, ¿no? No directamente, por lo menos. Así que el curso lo estoy terminando ahora esta semana, a ver si lo termino. Y ya con las próximas semanas que viene, ojalá ya tenemos como el programa todo bien hecho y cuándo va a empezar y todas estas cosas. Por el momento creo que lo tenemos en mente para hacer los sábados, ¿no? Como la gente trabaja entre semana, creo que sería lo mejor hacer los sábados y hacerlo un par de horas a la vez. Así que es un poco limitado, ¿no? Lo que se va a aprender en el curso, pero yo creo que voy a compartir toda la información de que sé sobre efectos especiales y cómo utilizarlo eh, efectivamente, ¿no? Ok, yo creo que esa es la introducción en español que voy a hacer hoy, pero el stream lo voy a hacer en inglés hoy también. Y ya veremos cómo hago ya en el futuro. ¿Qué más? Habían otras cosas que ni quería nombrar. No, yo creo que eso es todo. Okay, so yeah, thank you so much for everybody who pops in the streams and the videos afterwards. Hello, Flow and Nature. Nice to see you. It's I mean I didn't expect it sort of like it's not reaching out to a lot of people, but I see that a lot of people are sort of like jumping in and out of the stream, which I didn't really think it would sort of like reach out to people, like have some discovery rate, if you will, on the platforms. So if you find the videos or the streams afterwards and you're interested in something specific, please let me know, because I kind of want to keep this sort of as open as possible and as educational as possible, without having it being sort of like tutorials or how-tos, specific how-tos, right? I think creativity is important to sort of be creative about problem solving, right? And I think that's kind of like the beauty of creative work, is that you can solve and paint anything in any way specific. And so I think like that's kind of like why I think how to the sort of the culture on how to do something today, it's not super good. It's good if you learn sort of the software, right, or something, but I think the actual problem you're facing is, I think it's good to struggle with it, and I think it's good to sort of like try to find solutions for it, right? So that's kind of like how I think with experience you sort of accumulate like a lot of solutions for a lot of the problem solving that you sort of face. Because a lot of the problems you never faced before, or you have no idea how to solve them, and a lot of the problems is like trying to figure out solutions and as you go along, right? Hello, Tisir. Hello. Welcome in. Thanks for joining. So with that introduction set, I think we pop into today's shot, and which is this one. So this is a shot that I haven't started with yet, and I would like to sort of, so I'm just gonna let it render and then see if we can let me see if I can find the notes for it. So, luces de fondo como si transitiera un auto, o que se note que el bus está en movimiento. So I think they shot this shot probably still in the bus, right? And so they want some car lights to sort of travel on the back of the bus and have it feel like it's actually moving, right? So And that's a good way of doing it, right? Having like lights move in the background. And I think that's also what makes this shot a little bit tricky, because we have many elements to sort of light up here. So we got like a glass, and we have this, what do you call it? The curtains. And we have like the actors and seats and so on, right? So we want this light to travel through the shot. And also another thing that I'm thinking could be very useful is to do some very subtle like camera movements, so it feels like the bus is a little bit bumpy, right? And that way it would feel like they're sort of moving. So I think that's the two things I will try to add to the shot. It's probably going to take a while to sort of isolate each element in this shot as well. It's also 290 frames, which is quite long. But we work it out piece by piece and see how it goes. So I hope the sound is okay. I hope there's no problem with the microphone. And I'll try to see if I can find a little bit of music here. Okay, I think I'll turn it down just a bit more. That sounds good. Thanks. Good. Thank you. Right. Okay, so there is actually a little bit of bump already in the shot. So they might actually be driving. So I think maybe just the lights would be good to add in. Yeah, the bumps are good. Yeah, we just need some working music. Yeah, you don't hear it? Maybe it's a little bit too low. Maybe you can bump it up like a tiny bit. Hopefully that's not too distracting. Right. So I'll start with the denoise as always. Make sure that it's working. Looks pretty good. Let's see. Get this working. Right. So I think that I would probably want the traffic lights or the car lights to go through somewhere like in the middle of the shot, and to like between 100 and 150 maybe. And the lights are fast, right? So let's start by creating some lights. I think I'll use the flare node for this. And try to see if we can create like some cool car light flares. Let's actually take a look at now. Flights and flares is always tricky because it's always depends on the camera. Always looks different on every camera. But it's always good to look at reference. So I'm just try to see if I can find some here. Okay, so this is a little bit of what I imagined. So, I mean, let's take this as a reference and then see if I can. I'll pop it into the pop it into Nuke, so you guys can see it. Here we go. Right, so these I'm using just as a reference, right? So I'm just gonna do like a sticky note and just put in here ref and do 100. And actually, I'm just gonna copy these and put it here at the bottom and key it maybe to like that. Then I can always go back to it and look at the reference. So we want to create sort of like this cone of light, right? And have it sort of a hot light source. And again, depending on what camera you would sort of see or film it with and what exposure and all that stuff, this light flare would always be different, right? But basically, I'm trying to see if I can create a hot core of a light. Also, try to take like the angle to consideration. Like buses are quite high, right? So I think for this one specifically, I would, try to think that the angle of a car would sort of be like this low, maybe, if just trying a very quick car here. Right? So if that's sort of like a little bit of the angle of the car, and I would like to have the lights travel this way. The cone would sort of be something like that, right? And have some more fall off to it. So we wouldn't really like see too much of a car. I have it's a quick sketch, right? But like the scale of the car is probably like a little bit bigger. But yeah, that's kind of like how I'm thinking about it, right? So yeah, so let's see if we can create like a cool light source with the flare here. So there are like some presets. I don't think any of those would sort of be useful. Yeah, so I'll reset all, move it back in here. There's a lot of cool like flare nodes you can download on Nukepedia. If a lot of people made a really nice and effective flare nodes, but we're working like very natively in Nuke, so I'm just using all the elements that Nuke provides from standard. Right. So we can choose them to have them a little bit anamorphic. I'm actually not sure if what lens the film is shot at, if they had like any anamorphic lenses. Okay, that's the size multiplication. Coma spread could also be something we could play with a little bit. Chroma shift, how much we sort of wanted to shift. Maybe since the light, I want to go it from left to right, I'm gonna chroma shift it that direction and maybe change the angle of it, sort of coming from the bottom diagonal across the frame, so like the bottom and up. And probably, I don't think I need to do much more to this. This is like a good light source to have. And yeah, I'll see then to maybe blur it and create like some glow. Maybe take down the size a bit. It's quite strong. Something like this maybe. And then let's see, then I wanna move it, right? So if I'm just putting up, if I'm just putting this on top, yeah, we need to key it as well. Okay, that's the size of it, right? So now I want this sort of the size of the car light to sort of probably be around here, right? Something I'll do towards the end. And also would like to plus this operation as the additional values to the source. Yeah, I think I'll do like a rotate shape. Oops. Sort of mimicking a little bit of the car shape, right? So this would be sort of like the hood or the front of the car or whatever on a, oops, on an angle. Let me do that again. So something like that, I guess, right? And I'll feather this by like 50. And maybe I want to actually take the same light source. I have the two lights. I'll take that. Okay. Make them a little bit smaller. And then cut this. I'm sort of pretending this shape to be sort of the car. It doesn't need to be perfect, right? Because we're never gonna really see it or anything. It's just like, I'm just thinking about the light shape, right? So like, I don't think we would see like this light shape here. So even though like all of that, it's not really important. Right. Yeah, something like that, I think. And then let's see how we get that in there. Right. Could also do this, like, there's so many ways of doing this, right? We could create like a, just draw a simple cone shape and that's it. It's kind of like the beauty of it, right? I could do something like that. And then, yeah, mix that in here. As a plus. So basically, yeah. We could do something like that, right? But I think I would like to take as much of the flare information as possible, because it has like a lot of nuance to the light and artifacts and whatnot. So I like to try to use as much of that as possible. So what I do is that I will probably blur this horizontally, so like by 400, something like that. Oh, wrong. By the width, so like 500, maybe even more, right? And then from here, can put that back on here and plus it on top, move it into place. To like something like that. Maybe I want these lights to be a little bit closer. And yeah, I'll blur this even more. And yeah, so let's see if we make then I would probably have to do a little bit of a shape, right? Like I don't like sort of the square shape that we get. I would like that cone. So probably blur it like this and delete the transform, create a roto to then take out the shape that I want from this light source. Something like that. And say mask, right? Now we have that light source. Whoops. Probably making things a little bit too big, but we can always rescale and adjust everything as we want. Yeah, something like that. Feather this mask out like a bunch. And blur. Something like that. Let's see. It's not looking great. It's not. So maybe something like that. Let's take a look at our reference. So obviously we sort of like not looking at it from this angle at all, right? But we want a sort of a gradient through the cone as well. So I'll do a ramp. It's the easiest way to create a gradient from here to here. In reverse. So wherever it's the most white, the more intense it be. And we put that in here. I probably want to put that on the whole thing here and say stencil. Oh yeah, no, it needs to be a mask. There we go. So we can control sort of like a little bit of that opacity. I think I would like to fix the shape. Probably just keep a single light for now, I think. We'll see how that ends up looking. But now I have sort of like that light source that I want. And oops. And I want it to come in, so whoops. I'm just gonna keep it really far off the frame. And yeah, let's try to like animate the position of this, rotation, scale, and then I think it would have to be like half a second, right? So half a second will be like around 12 frames, 10 frames, something like that. So let's jump to like 23, and then the light source would have passed the bus, right? Trying to follow like perspective lines and all that stuff as well, and then see how the speed feels. Okay, I think that could work. I mean, yeah, I think this is quite good. In terms of speed, I think. So now to call these like backdrop, let's call that car light. Cool. Right, so now it's all about like masking here for this shot, and I'll think probably try to break up as many elements as possible. I wouldn't have to worry too much about tracking since we like the light would travel super fast. But I'll try to be precise with the mask. So I forgot actually for tomorrow to mention, like tomorrow I have some meeting with another project, and yeah, it's around the time that I stream, so I will probably cancel the stream tomorrow, I think, for that meeting. So yeah, so tomorrow's stream, I think I need to cancel it. I'll jump on the stream if possible, but I really don't think it would be. Okay, so now we have that mask basically, right? So now we see that light through the windows, right? So it's a start. It's a start on something here. And then I would have to sort of treat the curtains differently and do a lot of like light interaction with that, and also like with the actors and that thing. So it feels like the light feels as real as possible. Also, this mask is very harsh, so I'll put like a little blur. Put some of that. And oops. Okay. Just adjusting the rotos a little bit. Okay. Put this to no clip. Right. So that was kind of like the first sort of layer, if you will. Then maybe I'm just gonna see how the it's gonna bump up this light interaction to like maybe say 2, whatever this light is. So I'm gonna key that. And probably blur this keyer to something like that, and then sort of see if we can get anything for free, which I kind of doubt, but let's see if we can get something to like multiply. It's gonna be a tricky shot, this one. It's a lot of masking to do. So I'll need, I think, a roto for the actors. Let's start with those guys. So I'll block. Okay, so I'll do a roto where I know for a fact that the light shouldn't be hitting at all, right? So I think below the window, it wouldn't sort of hit anything, right? Then I guess I'll cut it like something like that, right? So this whole section, I don't want any light to hit any of that, basically. And same for the window here. like that section of the bus. I don't want to have any be affected by the light. I don't think the light would hit the sort of the side of the seat here, the back of the actor, right? Like this arm or the shoulder. Maybe it would hit sort of the front of the shoulder, front of this stuff. So like shapes like this wouldn't be hit too much, like something like that. I guess for the kid as well, for the dude, yeah, I don't think we would have any light on this part. Also not on this part. Also, I guess, yeah, the seat here wouldn't be hit at all. Maybe we would see like a little bit of the light here, I guess. Maybe hitting a little bit of the edge of the seat, but not here. Yeah, this back area would not receive any light. Now it's trying to just mask out as many possible areas that wouldn't receive the light, basically. So I don't think like this piece here, and maybe like this piece. I feel like the shoulder area here shouldn't receive any light. Something like that, I guess. Be careful around the nose. The head and hair, I guess, here at the back. Yeah, something like that. Maybe like the inside of the nose. I'm not sure if this is going to look any good, but I'm just trying to sort of block the sort of obvious areas that wouldn't be affected. I'm not worrying too much about like overlapping of shapes and stuff like that, because the light pass would like only almost be like 10 frames, right? So I don't need to like track it super accurately or anything. It really depends on where the light would sort of be. Yeah, so if we take a look at the alpha, that wouldn't make any sense, but if we then blur this a little bit and say 5, let's see, we did this quick test here, right? Like it's illuminating all that stuff, but now if we use this and say, hey, cut out these areas, maybe blur it even more. I have to be incredible soft, I guess, like 80. And now we see the light move. Let's see how that feels. I think it's sort of better. There is something about, I feel like the car is sort of like behind and the light shouldn't hit them at all here, so that needs to be fixed. Also here are like the car lights are like behind the bus, but it's like lighting up the seat, right? So that doesn't make any sense either. So I think I'm trying to think about to do like a time offset maybe. So if I do a time offset and then let's see here, if I minus by 2 frames, so we see the light coming in 2 frames before the actual light. That we see the light from the cars, right? So it's not, there's a little bit of an offset. And then I think if we soften everything a lot more, let's try it like by 100. Maybe like by 200. Okay, let's see this with a little bit of color. Now I do there would be some integration work to do with the light and stuff like that. I just want to see like if we can get away with it, like some good light interaction that is subtle. Maybe we can take down the intensity of this, and I would have to do a like some integration passes. But let's just take this down a bit. And then do like some color correction, maybe to like lift up the shadows where we sort of hit the light. But let's see. Let's do a little bit of light integration as well. So I feel like it's quite strong. 33. Maybe multiply this back a bit. By 3. Okay, so I'm kind of okay happy like with the light interaction. It's very subtle. I think maybe for the car itself, on the masking here for some frames, I would have to do some adjustments and stuff like that. And also do like a better, because it's a cloth right now, it blocks all the light, but uh, like the curtains wouldn't be blocking all that light, right? So we need to do like a separate treatment for the curtains, but I'm also not super happy about the light itself, so I would also have to play around with that. But I'm liking sort of the mask, all these shapes here, how we sort of blocked all that light. It does feel natural onto how that light would sort of hit them on a very fast. So it's very soft, but I think we'll get there slowly. Welcome into the stream. I see that a few more have joined. We are working with this film, indie film, being made in Peru. It's called Basilio y el Mar. It's a very beautiful film where they shot all over the place in Peru. And yeah, there's a lot of movement parts happening right now. They just shot in snowy mountains maybe 2 weeks ago, I think. We're still pending some shots to be received, and yeah, we are working, slowly working the first iterations of the shots, and this is one of them. So yeah, I don't know if you guys catched it, but I mentioned before as well, like I think I had to cancel tomorrow's stream. I like to stream. I have the schedule listed up here. It's Arcanian TV on YouTube and Arcanian 37 on Twitch from Monday to Friday. But tomorrow I have a meeting with another project right around the time that I start the streams. So I'll probably have to cancel tomorrow's stream. But usually I'll try to stream all those days as much as possible and within that time span as well. So yeah, tomorrow's stream is cancelled. Also, feel free to ask away about anything like VFX related or film related. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer the best way I can. Y si hablas español, también, si quieres preguntar en español, también puedes preguntar en español. Creo que intentaré hacer un stream una vez a la semana en español, pero la mayoría del tiempo creo que lo voy a hacer en inglés, simplemente para hacerme la vida un poquito más fácil a mí. So yeah, I'll try to keep the streams in English. I think for the most parts, I'll probably do like once a week. I'll do one in Spanish, but it's just to keep it a little bit easier for myself, as a lot of the notes and terminology and stuff like that is I don't know them very well in Spanish, so I feel like I'll have to speak a lot of Spanglish in order to try to explain the technicality of the work. Right. I feel like the light bleeding should be like way more potent, if you will, way softer. So I'll probably go in here and then try to see if I can exaggerate this blur like way more. Like, let's see how that looks. Okay, so that this destroyed sort of the hot core, and we had a more sort of like gradient up in the night, which I kind of like. But maybe we also want to keep that core a little bit, so I think I'll do I'll take that and plus it in here, and then I'll take the core and gain the core down to like, I don't know, something like that. Okay, it's all good. Okay, so weird bug. I'll try to clear my cache here. Flow Nature, how's it going with your shots? You feeling good about your stuff? Yeah. It's fine, but card placement is difficult. Yeah, it can be tricky at times to get it right. But yeah, it's finicky stuff. Okay, I'm sort of like how this is turning out slowly. Okay, I have to do now. Okay, so I don't know how you guys work or like to work, but at least for me, like I always kind of like try to tackle the biggest problem first, I guess, and then sort of work my way down to the details. So so sometimes when I'm looking at it and I'm sort of analyzing and I'm like, okay, light interaction is decent. Okay, I got a light going on and everything. I'm not super happy about like the intensity at the back and stuff like that, but it's fine. And so sort of like I'm trying to sort of analyze like what's the biggest problem watching it right now. And I feel like at this point it would be not having any light elements, having the light bleed through the curtains, right? Like that's the thing that sort of pops out immediately to me. And so that would be like the next big problem for me for this shot. Yeah, and then I'll keep sort of that. I guess it's a very inherent like thought process that I sort of have over the years. It's like because a lot of the times, I guess, working on film and shows, like you would want, it's like, again, like that 80% rule, right? So you tackle the biggest problems and then you work your way to the details. And usually the details is what most of the time people would not even notice, and a lot of the time it's also the work that takes the most time to do, and a lot of effort. Um, but if you just, if you watch the shot like super quick and you see the effect super quick in its moment watching the movie, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't like never really notice unless it's badly made, right? Then you kind of like notice, or when it takes you out of the movie, you know? Because a lot of the effects are great, but like even like huge films, um, like some Marvel films, they have like green screen shots, right, where the have like huge explosions and like they up in the air and actors are flying back and forward and all this stuff. Like a lot of those shots, like technically, looking as a VFX artist, like technically they're not very well done. And it's just crazy to think about, like sometimes the machinery and like the amount of work it takes for a huge movie. You have like thousands of artists working on all the shots, and hundreds of departments working together to get something right. And sometimes it just takes like one shot that was not picked up, that was forgotten, or didn't have enough time or enough artists to put in for all the shots or whatever. And then sometimes you would have like the quality of one shot kind of like fall out a little bit, right? And so once you watch the movie, the quality is up here, and then all of a sudden you have like a shot where the quality is down here, and it's like, oh, it takes you out of the movie, like, oh, that looked odd, or that looked, even though it's a few seconds. So that happens a lot in Marvel films, and it's just because they're dealing with like thousands of shots and different elements, right? So it's a whole another beast. Why sometimes movies have like a little bit of a outstanding shots and stuff like that, right? So and sort of the same sort of thing applies in the big picture stuff, like, but also when you work on a few frames and a few things, and what I was talking about before, right? Like what is it that sort of breaks the shot and or the frame, and sort of the problem or the effect. And right now I feel like it's the light interaction with this, right? Feels like it's blocking out 100% of the light, which looks odd. But yeah, a little bit of today's anecdote, I guess. Right, so let's see. I have this, right? And I'm time offsetting it. So now, okay, I'll do the curtains. One for the curtains here. And I'll try to see what I can get from IKEA. I don't think I will get... I'm trying to think, like, the way that I'm doing this. But yeah, let's see if we can get any detail extracted from the keyer. Okay, so we can get a little bit of a range, right? On the curtains. I would probably like it to be in reverse, right? So I want the hottest whites to sort of be like down here, where the light interaction would sort of be stronger, right? So maybe something like that, right? And and, 'cause, 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 ' Okay, I'll try this, and let's see. I'm gonna take it up here, and then I'll do another roto to isolate the curtains only. So yeah, so let's see. So let's take the curtains here. I'm not worrying too much about the edges. And unless, yeah, down here I feel like the sort of the bottom part shouldn't be affected too much by the light, right? So I'll do, I think, a little bit of a manual feather on the material, because it doesn't illuminate sort of like directly on the material, right? But it would sort of bleed light still downwards, I think, on the material. So I'll do like a soft feather on it. Let's see if we can get... Okay, something like that. I want to make sure I don't take too much of the act there. Okay. So let's see. Yeah, manual feather down here. Something like that. Okay, then we do a mask, and now we have sort of that curtain there, right? And now we want to have the light be influenced. So let's just bump this up to like 2 for now, just so we can see if it's actually doing anything. Okay, I'm gonna save. Right, so now it glows up. Not super beautiful, but now we have that section. And I wanted to have sort of this light intensity, because it's there's a gradient to it, right, and a power to it. And I think I want to use the same, and probably without the offset to drive to then affect this. So if I then use that as a mask again, we might need to multiply it a little bit to sort of boost it up, but let's see. Okay, so let's take a multiplier, multiply it by a lot, just to see if we get... Okay, so that already feels better, like in terms of like light interaction, right? It's like edges we need to clean up, and I think the way we're getting the gain on also on the material is not looking too good. Maybe would have to play with a color correction node instead of a grade to be able to control the shadows and all that stuff a little bit more. So let's see if we take the gain by 1.5. And then we can play around. Like maybe eliminating the contrast a little bit as slides is coming through. Also, I think I would like to blur, right? Like this. Yeah, let's do like 5 and then blur. I'm wondering if the black sections between the curtains are actually window or those plastic partitions, or it could be both. Hard to tell from here. The glow on the curtain is nice. Yeah, exactly. So I think like the black areas are the glass, right? I would assume it's the glass in the windows. And then the curtains there. And then we see if I can probably have to be a little more precise. Yeah, I thought I would have a little bit more separation here on the keyer. So I'll probably have to readjust this mask a little bit closer to the curtain so I don't get that black edge on the curtain here. Oh, yeah, what do you know? Keying on the alpha is not a good idea. There we go. Just to soften it up a little bit. Right, let's see how. I got rid of. A little better. I'll probably remove the feather and then blur it just by a tiny amount, like maybe 15. Yeah. Still feel like we need to sort of work on the detail on the curtain here. And yeah, we have some dark edges. It's a lot of like small things we have to work on. It's a very dark shot as well. So I feel like we probably need the light source to be a little bit more, a little stronger, but I think I'll work that towards the end. Right now, yeah, I need to key the next curtains as well. So put it in here into that shape. one here. Yeah, something like that. And let's see, I might have to do separate keys as well, right? Like the key at the end here is not picking up on any detail, so I might have to separate the sort of the back of section of it at some point. Let's see how that looks. Okay, we have some strong edges here that are popping out. Just wanna pull that back in a bit. Okay, and then this one back here as well. And here. Okay. Okay, like I feel actually like the shot it's in a already quite quickly in a decent state. Like it's not by all means like there's so much to do in this shot, but I think actually consider the amount of time that I spend on it. We got a sort of a lot of the working elements in there, I think. Now it's a lot about making sure the music plays on all frames, if you get my meaning. So there's a lot of small elements that needs to be adjusted, but like we got these black edges I would like to light up. Probably have to do some separate treatment on it. I would want a better key for that as well. So let's see if we can recuperate a little bit of this detail here. Actually, I think before doing any of that, I really have to try to nail down the intensity of the light source. Because that's sort of like the driving factor on a lot of the masking and a lot of the stuff, right? So if I do extract a lot of details throughout the different nodes, I might need to change them over and over again as I change the value of the main light. So I think I will focus on try to nail down the light source and the intensity for that in this shot. So right now I'm gammaing down. Gamma slamming is also what we call it, where just to see sort of like the brightest values in the shot, right? And we still sort of see these patterns in his hoodie, and our light is sort of gone. So I think we could easily take up the intensity of our light a little bit more, and so now we sort of see it here in the all right, something like that. And then maybe didn't I have a glow on this? I did at the beginning, so I'll put another glow just to see if we can get like a little bit of the more dynamic intensity. But now we probably have to take this down again. So it's always a balancing act with all the nodes, right? Maybe make it 10, brightest put it down to maybe 75. Right, so yeah, let's see how that feels like. I think it's a little strong with a glow, so I'll probably take it down again to like 33 where it was before, and then control the glow. Maybe to like 0.5, and then see again if how strong it is. It doesn't necessarily have to match this. Technically, this light source should be stronger, as it is a light source and not a reflective material, right? But we also not really seeing the light source core of emission, right? Like on the reference, we can see it here, right? Like that would be sort of the core that we see, right? And sort of burns the image like that. But we don't see that from that angle, right? We are mostly looking at this soft cone, so which is quite soft, right? So I think we could yeah, I don't think we have to go so intense on it. Yeah, but I think this is good. We've done a lot of this in the on the effect so far, but we're using a lot of noise to break the patterns a little bit, or like to make the patterns more interesting without a lot of that with the clouds and stuff like that for the other shots. And it's just like the noise is always like a good one to like give a little bit of fog and depth a little bit to things. So now it would sort of like look like that as the light travels through. So it's just not like completely flat, right? So it feels like the atmosphere, and it breaks up the shape of that cone a little bit. Even though we don't see it so much, but it helps give some shape and detail. And and sometimes, yeah, I'll do this like as a big shape, and I'll do another one for smaller shapes. So I'll stencil this one out, and then I'll do for like super tiny. Like particles, if you will, in the air, right? That is sort of like breaking the light even more. Maybe not as strong as that. Something like this. Maybe take it down to like 50%. So it's like very, very subtle. Maybe a little bit more. 85. Take the intensity up a bit. Yeah, so it's subtle stuff, but it all adds up a bit. Yeah, I kind of don't want it to be distracting, right? The light source. I want it to really, really be subtle, so we don't think about it at all while watching the film. I feel like, yeah, I want to fix this back part here, so I think what I do here at the end is to do a ramp. We love ramps and noises. So just so you know, if we do a ramp like this, where we then mask everything by this ramp, so the light source would sort of be more intense at point 1, and as it goes towards point 0, it would be less and less strong, right? So it feels like that car light is sort of like disappearing a little bit in distance. Probably this is a little too much, but we're working specifically with the shot, right? So I would have to to sort of match, see how that looks. Maybe it disappeared too much, which I think it did. So it's gonna make the ramp bigger, because I want it to be there. I just don't want it to be that strong. So let's see the difference. So this is without and with, and so now yeah, it's more subtle. I think I would like to do a color correction specifically on the actors as well at some point, but right now yeah, I kind of like where we at. I think the curtain stuff, as I was looking at before, but I really need to stretch my legs, go to the restroom really quick, so be right back. I'll leave you with some music. I'll leave you with this looping. All right, be right back. All right, I'm back. Okay. Yeah, cool. So let's see this curtain thingy. Yeah, so I'm bringing up the light. Let's see this mask. Maybe I'll just try to invert this is to see if that looks better. No. Yeah. Okay, let's see what we can get out of this color note. I'm just gonna gamma up a little bit because it's a quite dark shot. Maybe just do that with the f-stop. I think you know what I'm sort of missing, or I think it's the sort of like this light color, right? Feel like it's actually illuminating through it. Right now we're sort of manipulating values, right? But we are not feeling the color and from the light source. So because we're using this as a mask only, what we could do, thinking about multiple ways of doing this, is probably sampling the multiplier by that. Oops. And see if we can take it up. I don't know. It didn't like that. Can also do it manually. So just trying to hit sort of the same sort of temperature, right, from our light source. That's probably a little too intense. Desaturate a little bit more. Maybe pull up desaturation again. Maybe I don't want to multiply it also, or at least have a different multiplier. So I'll do this. And then take down, yeah, that's a lot of multiplication going on here. So let's do 5, maybe 10-ish. Okay, so now we get that color and the curtains. Something closer. think just looking at it like completely with blind eyes, I think actually it kind of works. But my I guess I don't know what to call it. My technical eye doesn't allow me to leave the black edges and trying to see like all the technical problems. Um, but just like at a glance, I think it's pretty good. Okay, yeah, this curtain is, I'm really not liking it, and I think it's because I'm probably inverting the alpha. So I think the color manipulation and all that stuff we're doing to it it's picking up in the shadows area and not in the light area, and making it all flat. So I think that's kind of like where what sort of takes me out a bit. So I think I'll invert this and then probably adjust the alpha here instead, like that. Yeah, and then see if we get a good how that looks like. Okay, that already sort of looks much better, but it still feels very. We have some deep blacks and stuff like that in there, so we really need to go in and try to see if we can lift them up or get rid of those. So we'll see how much we can do with what we have, or if we need to do a lot of like isolation. I'm afraid I would have to. Okay, so the elements to this that I like, and there's elements to the other setup that I like. So I think I have to do a mix of both. So I'll take this key here, and we do another key here, and then we flip it around. We do a mask on this as well. And then I'm trying to see if I can select sort of like the darkest points, right? Which is here. I want a lot of this key here to sort of select a lot of that. And then let's see, I would want, I think with a gain is good enough. And then select that. Let's see if we can then, it's probably like a little lift on the blacks would probably be good. So, but yeah, I'll need this same mask. Here, and then I'll probably need to multiply it as well. Right, so if I lift the blacks maybe a tiny bit more, maybe don't manipulate so much the white. Color the blacks also a little bit, maybe to the to the color outside. Oi, oi, oi. Kind of want nuts there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Right. And I think I'll try to. I think I like to sort of I don't want to influence too much up here, so we could either clamp the keyer a little bit here, and then maybe do it like in a road, so we can like control it a little bit more, and then do a blur. Right, so now let's see how that looks like. Maybe it looks like pretty bad. Maybe the yeah, something. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe do like 20 instead. Yeah. Think, oops, wrong button. Fat finger, the wrong button here. There and there. Okay. Yeah, let's see how that looks. Yeah. Yes, feels good. Feels good. So that's good. Now this black edge, I wonder if where that comes from. Can I bleed in here? Okay, so yeah, something. Something like that. At least that black edge is not screaming at my eyes. Maybe we'll do the same a little bit here. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so okay, I think that's pretty good. It looks, at least we have like some detail and it's like glowing up. We sort of got rid of those nasty black edges on this one at least. It's not really perfect. I feel like, you know, it's a little maybe too soft and stuff like that. But, you know, we're all about like that, working with the elements little by little. Now, another thing that I would like to have here, I feel like the light source, we should have like a light source coming in a little bit on the side here. That is where the curtain is actually blocking some of the light, right? So we should have a little bit of a light source coming in right in this frame, and I think that helps maybe also hide a lot of the edges and helps helps the light make it feel more three-dimensional, if you will. So I think I'll do that next. So essentially we have the light source, right, with some texture and all that stuff, and I'll take in the light here, and then we have, let's see here, oops, oh, the microphone here is getting all over my mouth and my nose. Right, and we have that and here. So I think I'd like to have a light source sort of placed on top and a small cone. It's sort of the easiest way just to do that. I would probably need the, yeah, let's take that here. Take a roto shape. Let's take a look at the shot. Oh, goddamn microphone. Then, yeah, I feel like this should be like a very soft cone like this. Sort of like bleeding in, right? Might need to adjust the shave a lot. Okay, and okay, I'll cut that out and put that on top. And actually, I think the sort of like the noises that we're using and the ramp and all that stuff, I will not take that into consideration for the light that sort of bleeds into the bus, because that would sort of be like, this is outside, right, of the fog, and that fog is not inside the bus, so the light source would sort of be more flat, I guess. And I'll plus this in, and then I'll really like mix in, like, would probably not even have 10% mix, and I'll blur this also. Okay, try to mix in a little bit more maybe. And it's only in sort of like that frame where the light source, where the car is here, right? And then on this one, it should disappear, basically. So I'll remove it here, and here we want it at 25%, so maybe 20, because it wanted, yeah, it needs to be subtle. Maybe even less, maybe 15%. And then here we want it at 0, so the frame in between, we also have a little bit of light bleed, like at 117. Super subtle stuff, you know, but it's hopefully doing something. So let's take a look at how it looks in motion. Oh, I'm gonna remove my sketch node here. Let me save it out as well in case of a crash. It's very subtle. Maybe 2%, like 20%. And I might as well, yeah, I need to blur it more, I think, also. That shape is a little harsh, like around here. And I think I might take like an exposure node and have it be affected the same way. So I'll copy in the mix from the merge node here on the plus to the exposure, and then I'll take the exposure up maybe just like by 0.1. Let's see how that looks like, and we mask it by the same mask as well. And so it also helps sort of expose up a little bit of the elements there, but you know. Yeah, maybe something like this. And then I probably want this one to be super, super soft. So that's the cone, this is a new one. Right. Okay, I think that's pretty good. I think I'll do. I kind of want to bump up the actors a little bit. Oh, it was disabled, so that's why we were not seeing the effect on the actors. Let's take a look. Oh, it's very subtle on the actors. Let's see. Multiplied it up by 10. That's a lot. Let's see how that looks like. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty good. That is pretty good. I feel like we need some. I need like some detail here. Maybe we can play around with like some glass dirt, but no, I feel like the I feel like the light feels a little flat to me. It's coming in there, lights up inside the bus, the back disappears. Maybe it's, I need, okay, so I'm thinking about maybe having sort of a off-screen light as well as the, sort of like if the front row of the bus would sort of illuminate, I feel like we would have sort of a little bit of a light bleed maybe into the camera before it reaches our actors, right? And also, maybe it's a little intense, or maybe it's fine. No, you know what? I think it's fine. We'll keep it like that. Maybe yes, this one should be kept a little bit lower, so like at maybe 0.15. Yeah, and then I'll do like a little light bleed on I feel like on frame 16 we should have a little bit of bleed like outside. Boy. Which we do here on the light source, it seems. I'm just gonna take the same light source here. I'm gonna save my script just in case it crashes. Wait. And then time offset that. So we push the light -1 here, and then let's see if we then plus, oops, plus this, make it maybe like real big, and then blur it a lot as well. And then just do a little mask on this side of the seat here, so I feel like the shadow here on the side of the seat shouldn't be affected too much. And then feather it inwards, blur it a bit, and invert it. Okay, maybe the feather should be feather the other way. Okay, so 55 maybe. Yeah, maybe also have like a very 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 very, very soft like full on light in, maybe like it, but like have it super subtle here. So I think it was a happy accident, I think, which happens a lot as you work, believe it or not. So I think on 15 I'll take it to 0, on 1, no, on 116 I'll have it on 1, and I think I kind of liked it on 17, but I at this point I really really want this to be like extremely subtle. 0.15 and then 18. We also have it 19. I don't think we should see it more here. Okay, so let's see how that looks. Okay, so I think I need to mask the bottom part here. Like, doesn't really make sense that we see light at the bottom, which is I think from this. Yeah. So I think I'll do another mask again. Just blocking out the sort of bottom part here. Let's put this to minus. Oops. Okay, so let's check it out again. Welcome into the stream. It's really cool to see a lot of people popping by. Sorry for not catching most of the people that are coming into the stream. It's a very chill work stream, working on indie film. It's very cool to work on because I get to sort of stream it and show it behind the scenes and talk about it and stuff like that, which is usually not a common thing. Usually everything is locked behind NDA contracts and making making it basically impossible to show any work or behind the scenes type of stuff. So yeah, so feel free to ask any questions about like VFX stuff for films, anything like film related. So I'm trying just to keep it chill working stream here. Okay, so I think the last layer here, I think it's a little messy. So I think I'll take this one down even more. So maybe, was it too strong at 1? Let's take it down to like 30%. And here we take it down to like 10%. And I guess to sort of disappear. Yeah, I feel like a little bit of a glass. We need some glass detail here to like really light up on the edge. I think like that will help a lot as well. I like to see some dirt or some like fingerprints or something. stuff like that. Just trying to see if I can refine this shape a little bit more. Yeah, something like that. I'll see if I can find a some cool texture. Let's see, glass dirt. Okay, we have something here. I'm just gonna move this to my project. Right. Okay, so I found this. And let's see. So we have the light here. I think I want to do that there. I need to key this. We extract a lot of the details. And then we can sort of, put it in with the again, there's so many ways of doing things, right? I have to determine with myself, how do I wanna do it? Mask. Let's see. Yeah, that wouldn't look too. It's not great. It's not great, but it's okay. Let's take that and then say mask. There we go. Now we got a little bit of dirt in the glass, and now I can turn it down to be super subtle, and it needs to be a little bit blurry to match the rest. But now we got some very subtle dirt or scratches and stuff on the glass. It's like almost not visible at any, like one frame. You don't even see it. Guess like I can bump it up a bit. So it's visible and then it disappears a little bit abruptly. Why? Maybe that's fine actually. Just take it down a bit. Okay, let's have a look. Save. Okay, it's briefly visible, but you know, I think it's cool. It gets to stay. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm thinking about like how to fix these dark edges. Because they're only really a problem like for 1-2 frames in different sections. And they are in the darks. I'm trying to think about like how to do this. I feel like down here we're at a pretty decent spot. The problem is like here. How do I want to do that? It's probably the easiest way to do it. I was thinking about like regrading the plate to then like a whole nother color, and then painting that grade in for those 2 frames, but It's probably just I just refining the mask here a little bit, and the problem gets resolved. So that's also, sometimes I guess I think it's very normal to do. Like, at least I do it all the time. Personally, it's when I know I have a technical problem to solve, and I'm used to like doing all sorts of like finding crazy solutions to a lot of the problems. Like, oh my God, I need to have this water to interact with this and that for this shot, and then I need to try to find quick solutions, but sometimes especially in the beginning, I think with experience it helps, because then like, okay, you tried these solutions before and they created more work than the solutions. So I think experience helps, but at least when I was younger, or started out, like I was definitely doing like very complicated things to fix complicated problems, right? But sometimes you don't need to do very complicated things. Sometimes you can just do very simple stuff to readjust the effects, or whatever you're doing. I don't know if that makes sense. At least it's because I came from animation background, right? And I was working mostly as a generalist, or like a TD, right? Like a technical director, and a lot of the times it's like finding like technique, like how to technically achieve something, and I think at the end of the day, it's like whatever makes the shot work goes. That's the best solution, because like I think in the moment, especially when you're with a lot of different departments or group of people and etc. for different problems or project, like people have like different expertise, right? So they have like all sorts of like solutions or like ideas on how to do things, but some of them can be like very some solutions can be like very cost inefficient, right? Like technically to do, and where maybe you can do a lot of the like cost-effective solutions otherwise, right? And sometimes I think like limitations help figuring out a way to be more efficient, So, but I also think it requires maybe like a good fundamental understanding on where those limitations would be, right? So I think it's something that comes with experience, but also is a little bit of a downside, right? Like if you working alone or limited resources, sometimes you could only do so much in certain scenarios, right? Where the bigger, the more people or artists you have in a project, sometimes it also helps elevate a lot the overall work, because everybody has good eyes and opinions, and helps you find more problems, right? It's more eyes on the work, more brains on the work. So usually that's also the upside of bigger groups or groups in general. Okay, I feel I would like to tone down the I was overexposed, so, but I think I think it's pretty good. I was considering like toning down a little bit of the light, like right here. Maybe it feels a little strong. Maybe take it down to like 10%. Okay, I think I need to look at more frames and then see how everything sort of feels. Maybe we can add like a camera shake here at the end. Maybe take down the amplitude, doesn't need to be wild. Frequency, I don't know, 0.7. Let's take a look at this and then, yeah, see how that looks. I think overall it's looking pretty good. I think I would like a little bit of color correction on the actors, like right when it's happening, right? So I think I would like to color correct them a little bit. I don't think I have one for them. Yeah, let's just do one here. And it's basically just kind of want to lift off the shadows a little bit. Whoa, that's too intense. Just maybe like by 130. And then I'll take in the, whatever we have for this. Yeah, I think this would do. Yes, I'm basically just lifting up the shadows like a tiny little bit more. Mostly, it's okay that we do that on the curtains as well. Maybe the midtones. No, then I would have to isolate it even more. Yeah, I think it's just like mostly the shadows. Maybe let's try 145 and see if anything breaks. Save. Okay, I'm just gonna isolate this again. I feel like the shape stays, or is it me? Yeah, it stays. So it's not moving. Oh yeah, because here it was basically just for one frame, so I need to take it from here, I guess. How does it look here? From the offset? No? Oh. Yeah, I think from the offset, so I'll take it here. Oh yeah, so these are all the shapes. I'll do another offset on here and without the shapes, because I kind of want to lift the shadows everywhere. Kind of lost my my headspace there. I don't know why I can't get the mask. I mean, I had like thousands of masks going on. I should be able to find something. So this one, okay, yeah, okay, so it's not strong, that's why. Right. Okay. So if I take that and then multiply it, boom, way too strong. Okay, and then maybe do there we go. Okay, it's subtle, but it's just like lifting sort of the general shadows, and when the light is on the screen, basically. Oh man, I keep missing a lot of people coming into the stream. Sorry about that. Okay, so I think there will be a lot of adjustments to this, but at least we have something, right? Taking a look at the references. Anything I want to add? Yeah, I think subtle is key. I have to keep that in mind. So I think maybe I would have to like tone it down a little bit in the future. But I think for now, we'll also see what the director says at a review. Thinking about adding. Yeah, the noise. Okay, so because it's a light source and it's so dark, I'll do a little keyer here for the noise. And basically, yeah, like that area. And then trying to see if I can capture sort of a good mask to isolate our light difference here. Yeah, might just do it manually because it's for now. I don't even know how many cars needs to go by this shot, or like how many times we need to see this. Hopefully not too many times, because there's a lot of finicky adjustments. Yeah, I think I'll isolate it to this area here, blur it, something like that, and then yeah, I'll key mix in the grain. By this mask. didn't do much. Let's try to see if we can get a little bit more light, something like that. Yeah, it's almost this almost shouldn't. Yeah, it doesn't do much. It's so subtle. It's like a few pixels. I don't even know if it's visible on the stream. But I think it might not even worth be doing anything like this. It's just usually when you have like a strong light source, you would like to sort of remove the grain from the light source, but this is, I think, the strongest frame where the light source is visible. So I'll just delete this. I don't think it's even worth having in there. Got some camera shake. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Make this a little bit bigger. We do ref area. We need to another right node. Reformat. HD. Copy a new one. There we go. So this take it in like that. Best. There you go. So this is taking a look at the difference, right? All the things we sort of manipulated. And I'm just disabled the camera shake, otherwise we'll see a lot more manipulation basically. But this is sort of like looking at purely sort of the light changes from the original and the VFX or the effects that we've done. Right. So it's kind of cool to see it here as well, just to see if there's anything like that is sort of like standing out. And it does feel like a light pass, just from looking at this. So it's pretty good. Okay, I'll put. I'll have to see which shot I need to start on, or if I want to do a note. Oh, yeah, so yesterday I was actually playing around with, let me see if I can bring that shot up. Was doing a little bit of R&D. Fluent Nature, I don't know if he's still in the chat, but we're still there watching the stream. But the, oh, sorry, I need to swap screens here. I think it's this one, yeah. Should be visible now. But I was doing a little bit of research and R&D on like how we can get like a little bit more interesting sky in case, because we don't know when the photographer will give us some actual sky images, right? So I was thinking about doing this as a placeholder for now. But I thought it'd be interesting if we could sort of push just the look of it, just in general, and just do something cool. But basically, oh shit, wait, the camera turned off. Come on, give me a sec. should be working. Yeah, there it is. Okay, let me the autofocus here. Right. Okay, sorry about that. So what I was talking about is that yeah, I found these images on like 16K. We can even find higher ones, but these are like NASA photographed images of the Milky Way. And technically, what we could do is like, I just, eliminated like sort of the big stars, because I feel like they're a little bit distracting, galaxies, and then we can sort of like play with the color, right? I don't know if you're watching Flow in nature, but what I did was then projected, or put it wrapped it around the a sphere, right? And then put the camera like in the middle of the sphere, and then that way we could have this, and we can just rotate the sphere, whatever way we want to, sort of like, and decide like how we want to look at the Milky Way for each of those star shots. And so, but I'm thinking it would be cool to sort of add another element to it. What I just did here was then to add like a little, I just took the color wheel node, just the color wheel, and I multiply that on top of a noise, just to get like some color and stuff. And then I'll, did a little bit of like coloring to the Milky Way and put it as a geometry, and then basically just moving the color wheel around, we can like extract like different colors of the color wheel into the Milky Way. And then then have that as a star map almost, but so we can like place it as we want almost, and color it as we want for the shots that we need to do, where we have stars and Milky Way and stuff. I'm even thinking about like adding clouds, even though like it's a dark shot, right? But I think it's might be worth doing as well. Like if we wanted like more purple blue type color, well, we can just change it like that. So I think it's kind of interesting, right? Like this is the first version we did without anything. It's a very dark shot also, and then with the new sort of like star map we can put in there. But I think even like adding clouds just to sort of like block some of that moonlight and some of the Milky Way, I think could do a lot as well. Just playing around with stuff. I again wonder if we could do, again, a noise. I mean, it was actually nice, cool. Yeah, I think it's quite nice. I think we could sort of work out. I once worked with a compositor with absolute, I mean, he was he was probably the messiest like node guy that I know. I think Roger was hoping we could create something with what we have. Yeah, yeah, I think so too as well. Yeah, I think it's good that we create something and then see if we get the footage in from a photographer at some point. This is a good plan B in any case. But yeah, I was saying like, oh man, there's like, I wish I could find that shot, but we're working on the 100, and this compositor, this he was the lead compositor, and he is so talented, like crazy. Like he would probably be the most noise. He would be like a master of noise patterns, and we would have this shot in the 100 where I think there's very brief shot where these nukes go off or explosions. I'm not really sure what it is. It's like a huge explosion, and there's this person sort of turning around towards the camera, and we see sort of like the skin fall off and everything. There's like multiple layers. We see a skull underneath and all this type of thing, and like he would actually have a skull on his desk that he then photographed and put the picture in and tracked in the skull into the actor, and then did so many different like noise like patterns and shenanigans to like have the skin burn off, then the muscles burn off, and you know, all these type of things. And his node cluster tree would be just like an explosion of nodes in a circle, so it would be absolutely impossible to see what's going on. But he was definitely like a very good compositor, and he just did most of his stuff, most of his effects with noise patterns, and it was just like, wow, that was super impressive stuff. That's very cool. You can do so much with noise. It's just a matter of like how do you use it, right? So yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah. So let's see. I'm just gonna. I would kind of like to have for the Milky Way. So have something like what we have here with the Milky Way in 3D. I kind of want to have like another, almost like another gas layer type thing, but I'm not really sure. It's a tricky one. I would have to look at a lot of references and stuff. What did I do here? $150, I painted something. Oh, okay, this is just a sketch. But yeah, I think it gives us a lot of power, basically, to be able to use this massive 16K Milky Way map, because it's huge. And I think like basically we could use like small clusters of this, right, to like create a super interesting sky. So you know, there's like some interesting patches. Yeah. change music before I fall asleep. Right. Yeah, please let me know if the music is a little bit too loud or distracting. Always kind of like have a little bit of noise in the background. Okay, so yeah, I feel like I need some clouds in here. I'll try to play around with the noise and let's see if I can get a layer on top of this. That would make sense. Let's see. I never done clouds with a noise before, so I'm just trying to let's just get like some. Just get some shape in here. Making it all soft. Okay, and let's have it go inwards. So like minus 15. No format, clip it, and then let's see if it's gonna be a lot of manipulation to make this look good. Maybe key this. And then say like over, like let's pre-mold this. Might be better if we can find some real clouds to put in there. I think it will be a lot of work to just put in a couple of noise clouds. Oops. Happy accident, right? They happen. They do happen. Let's see. So we stencil it out here. Okay, I feel like they. Where's the moon? Here? Yeah, that's the moon. Moon. Right. So if we do like a light wrap, maybe from this. And then take that. Say generate only. Let's say plus. Get that moon shape, and then I don't know. yeah, let's take the clouds down by a lot. Yes, so they're like very subtle. Yeah, what do you know? You can do. You could probably do everything with noise or noises. That's a new to me as well. I haven't. Yeah, it's kind of funny how some accidents happen sometimes. I would actually. Yeah, maybe bump this up just a tiny bit more. And bump that one down. And maybe also, yeah, then take this down a little bit more and then give it a color. So, yeah, maybe we sample from the moon color. Oh, let's take it by this and bump it up. It's very subtle things here. Yeah. Welcome into the stream. Thanks for joining in. Feel free to ask any questions about film, visual effects, stuff like that. This is a cool project where we sort of able to show stuff, the work, and behind the scenes, just working on it. This is just a work chill stream, but yeah, usually working on huge films or any project there. It's like NDA contracts that doesn't really allow you to show anything. So it's a great opportunity to show a little bit of behind the scenes. So yeah, this shot is actually like a massive transformation, right? So I don't know if you guys can see it, but this is the original shot, how dark it was. And that's with our Milky Way, moon, and clouds. And I think, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it does feel quite extreme. But I know for a fact, like in the movie, like Roger was talking about, like having these dream scenes, right? Where I think it feels a little bit more dreamy, and then some of the scenes will be more realistic, right? Like very realistic. So I'm not sure where he is here, if it's like if he is dreaming at this point in time. I'm actually not sure. take it down a little bit more. Yeah, I would have to do a little bit more research. Yeah, on the scar map. There's like different maps of the Milky Way. But I think this one's pretty good for what we want, I think. Okay, let me see if I can maybe find another interesting point. Ooh, wow, I don't know what that is, but interesting. It's kinda, I like that area down there. It's kind of cool. Yeah, so I kind of like this angle, but oops, I guess I wanna, yeah, rotate it upwards. Maybe a little bit more up. It almost looks like a sci-fi film. Yeah, I guess something like that, maybe. I guess a little bit. That's pretty nice. Maybe push it like there. Just so it feels a little bit more subtle, I guess. So before and after, it's a huge difference. We have a little bit more color in the sky as well. Oh boy. I mean, I think that's quite subtle with the Milky Way, at least. The clouds. You know what? I'll try something crazy here. I'll try to animate the rotation, just so we sort of feel the Milky Way move, like, but it would have to be like so small. So I think I'll try to rotate it like just one on X here. So I'll keyframe it on the beginning and then just put 35. So 34, 35. It will move from that to that throughout the shot, which is probably way too much. So maybe like 0.5. This is a cheap trick, but you know, it's just to get a little bit of like movement, I guess, in the whole sky map, as if it was a time lapse almost. Sometimes movements, a lot of the times actually in film, like we exaggerate a lot of the movement, like especially like clouds, all that type of thing, right? Because sometimes in real life they move so slow, like you can film like a whole minute just filming on a cloud, and then there would be like almost no movement, right? And so like in film, a lot of the times like there are few frames, right? Like this, like few seconds, but we need to sort of like exaggerate the movement of clouds or anything sort of like natural, like in the shot, because otherwise you don't pick up on any movement, and it feels very static. So yeah, clouds and stuff like that, a lot of the times faked a lot. So I'll do a little bit of movement on the clouds here as well. I'm just gonna do a different transform so I don't fuck up the other one. And I'll just keyframe it here at the end, and at the beginning we let's move it like that. And that's maybe actually a little bit too much. You can see the sort of distance is going to travel. Yeah, so let's see. Man, I'd love to see the whole shot, but it's like 400 frames. I would have to render it after the stream and then see if it's like completely ridiculous with the movement. Yeah, I think it's a little too much. I wanted it to be maybe like 2. Oh yeah, so then for the stars, this is a glint. I think this is kind of like the worst. In a way, it's like the worst and the best note ever for special effects. Kind of like the it makes think it's like that super old school like glint effect from a Colgate commercial where the teeth has the star come out. Yeah, it's not picking up on anything, so I'll need to like key something maybe. Let's see. Yeah, so Yeah. The Colgate star. Um, okay, so let's see. If I do a difference keyer, key that with a frame hold. And see what we get. And then we can glint those maybe a little bit. And then blur them. Something like that. And then we plus them on top. So we get that glint on that star, but I never done it this way before. Let's see if it also it does illuminate maybe a little bit too much on that, so I need to pre-mold here, I think, just so we don't get like too much of the sky. Right. So let's see if we can find like a blinking one on, to see if it even works. They don't seem to be glinting. Let's boost the glint. Okay, it's doing something, but it's just so very little. Yeah, maybe. I really need to render it out and see everything in movement. But yeah, at least a huge difference in the shot, I think. Like looking at it like that, and then like before and after. Okay, let me just save this out. Trying to look through the list here. See, yeah. Sorry, I'm just looking through all the notes. Uh, was there? I'm trying to see if there's any shot that we haven't started yet. Yeah, it's a lot of missing footage. Yeah, I'll probably have a look at this. I guess later on. Yeah. So let's see. What else do I got? Oh, what happened? Oh, the stream just choked. Well, sorry, I think the stream choked a little. I just quickly bounced back to the other shot. That was 11, this one. Just having a second look at it and see if always helps to take a little break from watching the same frames. Let's see if there's anything that stands out a bit. I kind of like it. I think it feels good. Like if anything, maybe like tone it down later on. Yeah, I'll cue this as the first pass. All right, so let's see again. So I'm just double checking here on my shot overview. Just checking if we sort of been through most of it. So a lot of these river shots, I think they're gonna do in color, so we don't have to do those. We've been through these ones. Still missing some shots as well. Yeah, we did some lighting stuff. We did the sun. We're working on the fireflies. Do we have a version of each night shot? This one. Oh, yeah. What shot is that one? I can't find it on the list. Oh, there we go. Shot 4, and then let's see the notes. Okay. Yeah, with me, I think that'll be a good shot to work on. So I think I'll open it up. Shot 4. Yeah, sorry for all the waiting for you guys watching. There's like a lot of like things to keep track of. Let's see. Oh, yeah, let me share this right screen. Oh, it's not. Oh, there we are. It's not picking up on the shot. I'm probably gonna close down the other ones. Close this one. Right. Oh, I think it crashed. God damn it. Sorry. I think I don't know if it's something to do with the stream, but things just seems to be choking up a little bit at some point. Like my nuke is like non-responsive. Okay, you see this? Yeah, now it seems to be working. I got some widescreen from the other one. Okay. Right. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like the YouTube stream is really choking up uh, on my nuke as well. I think it has to do something with the CPU usage. I think I probably reached some type of limit where after some time, I guess, that is like a little bit too demanding. I may be also opening up too many scripts at the same time. I'll try to see if I can fix YouTube. Does the stream look okay on Twitch? I guess I'm not getting like any warnings on Twitch, so I don't know if it's okay. But I'm getting a lot of warnings on YouTube. Okay, so Twitch is good. Yeah, I don't know how to fix that right now on YouTube. I'll continue for a bit more, and then I'll call the stream as well. Let me close this as well in the background. See if it helps a little bit. Okay, looks like it did. Right, so let's see if we can use the stars setup for this shot as well, just to see if it will sort of work out or not. Let's actually swap that. And sorry. Okay. So let's see. We have some stuff done for this. So here I'm taking that. Right. So it should be good to put it in like this. It's quite subtle. It's gonna disable all of that. All right, so for this one, I think I have sort of like the darkest corner up here. So I think I'll like to move sort of like the galaxy over there. I also have like some stars going in here. So yeah, I don't know why I have two of the same here. I might just delete that completely. So let's see. Let's move this first to, let's find another interesting patch on this map. That line looks pretty cool. Let's rotate it like this. Yeah, something like that maybe. So now Let's see how that looks like. Yeah, we almost see nothing, right? I think it's because I probably haven't, keyed out like all the fog mist. Okay, so that's why I had it like multiple times. Do I have a rotor shape for this guy? Looks like I have something here. Let me do another one. See if that will work. Oh, I have some rotor shapes here. Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, that's probably okay. So let's see how that looks like. Yeah, we see the stars here. It's like super subtle. I don't know if you guys can see it on the stream. It's like almost impossible to see. Okay. Yeah, so it is there in the back. So maybe I want to boost this a little. Must be having some other layers. Yeah, that one I think we can probably get rid of. That one maybe also. Ooh, okay. What is, okay, yeah. We're making this a nighttime shot also. I need to keep that in mind. Yeah, so a lot of this treatment is for the light, color. Kind of like this color, like in the back of the mountain. Right, we kind of like see the stars and the stuff back there. So what are we seeing exactly? We're seeing that patch. So let's try to rotate it a little bit and see if we can find like some interesting sky. Okay, so minus 300 or 390 is pretty good. Okay, that's also interesting. Okay, maybe for this one we can actually don't stencil out the stars. That's interesting. So something changes here completely, which I guess is changing the keyer on something. Or like the alpha. Oh yeah, okay, so it's taking the alpha from here whenever I disable that. So let's shuffle out that to black, and it should fix the problem. But why do I have black dots in the map? Oh, because I'm killing them with a color correct. There we go. Maybe the color correct. Oh, yeah, I have that too. Like, maybe something like that. What happens if we move the color? Okay, let's try to keep rotating the sky a little bit more now, and then see if we can find something interesting. I think for this one, I'll take the camera and I'll change the focal length to something like very wide, maybe to like 7, and then that way we should see like way more of the map on the render. And I'll try to rotate things again and see if we can place. It's also a wide shot. Something like this, maybe. Maybe change the, yeah, like to change the color a bit. Maybe I'll just disable the whole color wheel stuff, kind of like that bluish stuff that we have here. I think the star is a little bit too crazy here, so I think I'll color correct it here and then take the gain down again on the stars. Maybe the contrast of it also. And maybe I'll do a keyer here. to a grade, select the stars and gain them down even more. Just because I feel like the sort of like shining through this mist and it feels a little odd to me. So I think like that, they kind of feel like behind that mist now, which feels much better. Right, and now you have like more stuff on top. I'm not sure I want that anymore, or that. Yeah, keep it like this. I think the director mentioned something about like going way bluer on this shot. Is that right? Añado un par de estrellas, hacer el cielo que parezca más a la imagen 12. Yeah, ok. Tengo un poco más de magia. Oscurecerla. Yeah, so... yeah, so making it like really dark, like we did with shot 12. But that requires a little bit more treatment and stuff. But let's do it. So I think at this point, let's take like an overall multiplier and everything and make everything cool. I think it was quite blue, the other one. I would have to actually bring it in and then do like a pretty good color match to it. Okay, right now it's like keying all that stuff, but I want to key the reverse. So that's kind of like the dark areas. Yeah, I would have to. I think the director mentioned something about like he was about to dream in this shot, right? Like, I don't know if he was dreaming or like this is like, I think it's a very important part on the, as he goes into the dream, I think. Do that. Let's see if we can get a decent grab on the values here. Yeah, think that's better. Okay, so basically okay, I want to really be subtle here. Take the gain down a bit, and then maybe take the midtones down a bit as well. Oops. Then take the shadows up by like a tiny amount. The highlights, definitely, if we can get some of those. Yeah, those are the midtones. So maybe in the midtones we take them down, like we take down these highlights. And I think the llama is pretty still, but I kind of want to isolate the llama a little bit because it's kind of like the focal point a little bit. So I'll do like a stencil here, so we're not affecting too much the llama, and I can just do like a garbage mask like that. Wouldn't have to worry too much about roto, do like a precise roto. So, whoops, so basically we're not affecting the llama. I was doing this stuff. Okay, maybe we went a little far on the blue here. Let's open up the color wheel and go down to like point. Yeah, and then we'll do another one on the blacks, where I lift the blacks a tiny bit as well. Like on the blue side. I have to keep it like super natural. Let me reset that. And actually just, whoa. Just pull the blues here a bit. Give that to 0, 0. And sort of the blacks gets a little bluer, so it feels a little bit more like nighttime. Maybe a little bit more. Whoa! We also do the red. Yeah. Maybe too much on the red. Maybe go half on the red. I feel like the mountains are very soft, so we should probably like blur defocus this quite a lot, just by looking at sort of the edges on the mountains here. They almost kind of like disappear, right? And so I feel like the sky shouldn't be that clear. So maybe, yeah, defocus by 5. Something like that. So let's take a look at the Okay, so I think should probably delete what I'm not using. I don't want any of that, right? I might keep these notes for future, maybe, depends. And that, I don't know. That I don't need. Right, so let's take a look at the shot before and after. So it's huge difference on the shot. Right, so we're putting in like the Milky Way magical sky in and making it dark, putting in a little bit of foreground mist. Actually, that foreground mist, I should probably change a little bit of the color on that, making it maybe a little bit like bluer as well. It's quite white. Right. Yeah, it's a huge difference on the shot. Whoa. Like I would probably like to like pick up on some highlights maybe on the river, right? Like the focal point is a lot like it's here, right? So maybe do some stuff to sort of attract the eye here on the water and on the llama. And maybe push back a little bit on the sky there at the back, yes, so it's not too distracting. So maybe like 0.9, 85, something like this. Yeah, let's save it up. Boy, I would soon need a break as well. I'm also thinking of reaching the end of the stream. How's it going with your stuff, Flow in Nature? Anything you want to talk about or we should take a look at? You good? So tomorrow I'll have a meeting with another company, another client. So I don't think I'll be on tomorrow. Because I have the meeting with them like right at the time that I'm gonna stream. So I think I'll just cancel the stream tomorrow. But and also I do have to do like a bunch of paperwork. I'm still working out the course and all that stuff as well. So maybe I'll take advantage and try to see if I can kill a couple of. In Danish we say like two flies in one hit. I don't know how you say that in English, but yeah, we can. You will rather do a Zoom call, or is this something that I can answer here on the stream, or let's do a Zoom. Let's do a Zoom, and then we can look at your stuff. All right, so yeah, thanks for staying for so long. I hope it wasn't too of a boring stream. This one probably dragged out. I think I was looking at a lot of the notes and fumbling a little bit with the shots. And yeah, and then we had some hiccups as well. But yeah, I guess we'll see if that problem keeps occurring in the future. But yeah, thanks for tuning in and for watching the video afterwards as well. Hope you learned something or it was useful. And yeah, I'll catch you on, I'll be on Friday, so I guess we see each other on Friday. And Flow Nature, yeah, let's have a call. All right, thank you very much for tuning into the stream or the video. All right, bye bye.